Good morning. Good morning. I hope you are having a wonderful week as always. So my name is Tammy Workman-Lopez, and I like to come on here each and every Wednesday to just give you a midweek support. So if there's any places you feel like you're thrown off, we get you back on track. And so the biggest thing is we often find ourselves getting caught up in negative thinking and negative emotions and just not sure how to get out of it. And I like to bring you tools and tips and supports so you're feeling so much better and you actually have some things that you can practice with. And so this week we're talking about self-sabotage. Now, it's not something to think, oh, this is just a you thing. This is a human being thing. And it's important to take a look at how am I self-sabotaging? How can I make this change? What ways am I thinking? How is it I'm pulling myself back and down and, just all these different things. And so there's a lot that goes into it, but I'm going to give you some basics that actually help you take a look at, okay, this is what I see that I'm doing. This is how I can change it. And these are actually fail-proof ways. Now, I say fail-proof, it doesn't mean that you can't fail with them. It's just as you're keeping this in mind, you're less likely to think of yourself as a failure. And you're thinking more of it like, oh, okay, so that was a mistake. This mistake is here for me to learn from. And now I can move forward. And that's it. It gives you space to breathe. It helps you from being paralyzed by judgment and paralyzed by criticism. And do I make this? Will it be a mistake? Do I do that? Will it be a mistake? Is it going to, affect anybody in a negative way? Is it going to affect me in a negative way? How is it going to affect my income as a business owner? Or, how is it going to affect my family if I make this decision? It takes that pressure off. And it helps you to see you can choose. And out of the choices, you can see what's working, what's not working, or how your actions are affecting you, how you can make it different. So these are just different steps that you can take a look and go, oh yeah, I am practicing that. And then taking a look at, okay, so these are some ways that I can make that change. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I share these points with you. You can jot them down. So grab a pen and paper. And the idea is as you're going through that, you're going to be able to see, oh, okay, so if I'm looking at this, this is what I can do differently. Okay. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to share with you an infographic that has all the little points and how you can look at them just on two little posts. So you can train your subconscious mind as you're reading it. Like I can learn something from hearing it, but I better learn it from looking at it and hearing it, right? So I can hear, but if I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what they said. It just works better with my type of learning. And so you might be the same way. So you can have both. The other way is you can write these down for yourself. And so I'd like for you to do that today. So as you're doing this process, you're going, okay, got this, got this, got this. Then if you would like, you can come back and listen to this recording so you're hearing it again. Okay. All right. And again, I share with you these infographics that I do and these points that I give you. They're not a specific like, oh, it has to go in this order. I'm just sharing it with you in a particular order so we have one. So number one, perfectionism. Number two, moderation. Number three, running on empty. Number four, procrastination. And number five, lack of communication. And you might be like, okay, all of those fit me. Or you might be like, one of those fit me. Or you might be like, what does that mean exactly? So we'll go into that a little bit. So for example, with perfectionism, you may have it that you have to meet a particular bar, but how is that measurable? If you're comparing yourself to somebody else that you think is perfect, but they have all of this skill and all of this background that you don't have yet, then you're making it impossible for you to get there at this time, and it's not fair. So your bar of perfection that you have to reach is literally impossible until you have these same skills that they have, right? So being able to take a look at your idea of perfectionism is totally going to block you. It's totally going to get in your way, and it's totally going to set up self-sabotage immediately, right? Okay. So what you want to be able to do is take a look at, I'm doing this whole black and white thinking, right? It's got to be this way or not. It's got to be this perfect or it's not good enough. So you really want to take a look at that not good enough stuff. That's really what perfectionism is. It's got you on this space of, well, if it's not this, then I'm not good enough. So we want to help you change that not good enough thinking, right? So jot that down. So number one is not good enough thinking. And I'm writing that down too, because as I do these points, I want to make sure that you remember them when you look at them tomorrow. And notice what comes with that, right? Notice that there's particular symptoms, right? So it could be tension in your throat, in your body, could be anger with yourself. It could be this feeling of not good enough, right? So the feeling that comes with not good enough is feeling insecure, feeling less, comparing, maybe even feeling jealous of somebody else for doing well. And then you feel guilty because you're feeling jealous. Like that comes with a lot. So instead, you can allow yourself to shift through that. And I'm going to go through the points of the things that you can do to help you kind of shift out of that. So number two, moderation. So this is one, by the way, all of these are things I work on all the time. And so each of them, you might find they feed on each other. The thing about working on them is you get better and better and faster at shifting off of them. As you're going through that shifting, you're like, oh, okay, it came up, I moved through it. When you find you're struggling with it, it's there and it stays there and you can't really move through it. You just sort of put it out of the way, but the weight of it is still there. That's when you know you need that support, okay? So number two, the idea is being able to say no, right? So it's really being a yes person. And you want to take a look at if you are telling yourself you can do it, but you don't have enough time, or maybe you're not able to see if you have enough time, that's something that comes up for me. I don't say yes to other people. I say yes to myself. Like, oh, I want to learn this and I want to learn that and I want to learn this and I want to learn that. And I need to take a look at the time that I have. And so oftentimes I'm not in moderation of these things that I need to learn. And then I feel totally overwhelmed and burnt out because I'm doing my business and I need to learn all these things, but I'm not giving myself the time that's needed. I'm trying to do them all at once. And sometimes it does work out, but then there's other times it's just like, well, this is too much, right? So the symptom of that is what? Feeling exhausted, feeling burnt out, feeling like, again, maybe not good enough kicks in, right? That's where they might collide. So it's making sure that you're not in that space of being a yes person, right? You've got to create that balance. Okay, and so I'm actually giving you some of the answers now, but we'll reiterate on these answers because I want you to really feel like, yeah, this is fail proof. I can do this, right? Okay, so number three actually kind of leads right off of what I was saying, running on empty. So we often, especially those of us who are givers, we give, or those of us who don't really balance that moderation, we learn. You know, and then if you have your children or you have your family or you have these networking events or you have, you know, different things that come up that you weren't even planning, right? Life's going to happen. Car accidents are going to happen. People are going to pass away. Like that stuff is not even on your plan. That's going to come up. And then there's good stuff too, like graduations and birthdays, but it's stuff you've got to look at. And if not, it's just like wearing you down and you find yourself running on empty. You feel like you've got no more left, or you've put all your eggs in one basket and they all crack, right? And without meaning to, it's creating a self-sabotage experience because you're just like, I got no more left. And I have to admit to that sometimes, right? I might show up cranky. I might show up with less patience. I might show up as sometimes thinking, well, maybe I can't do this. Maybe it's too much for me. When really none of that's the case. It's that I've let myself go on empty. I'm not taking care of myself and doing that self-care that's needed. And I work with clients like this all the time. And so it's important to notice it's human. We might find ourselves getting into it, but you don't need to stay there. Make sense? Share with me what you feel like you're getting out of this so far, how it applies, what you feel like you can do differently moving forward, and any areas that you feel like, whoa, I'm totally stuck there. That would actually be a good place for me to get some more support. Put that in the comments, because when I do these lives, I do them with you in mind. I do them based on your questions and based on the support that you ask for. So I want to make sure that you're getting that, because you are the CEO of your life. right? Whether you're running your own business as an entrepreneur, or you're just running your family, right? And you're running your career, and you're running how to figure things out. You are the CEO in your life. So being able to work on these things and talk about these things and brainstorm these things and organize them is exactly what's needed and exactly what's necessary. Sometimes we just need to break it down to our own individual goals and our own individual questions and problems, so we can go, oh, this is how I might be blocking myself. This is how my subconscious is showing up in these patterns. We're able to break it up. And that's actually what I do with my clients. We take a look at what are your results or lack of results, and how are these things getting in your way, and how can we break them down? The action plan that we can create, the negative thinking that's blocking you. What's the patterns there? What's the subconscious programming that's going on? How do we make that change? Where are the boundaries need to be set? A whole different process of things. All these various pillars that are needed, that if you're just trying to push through, then you're ultimately going to find yourself running on empty, right? So do definitely put in here, and I want to give you guys, thank you for your hearts. I really do appreciate it. And I want to say, yay, congratulations to some of our new members here. And with the revival of the group, changing from freedom from negative thinking to relief from anxiety and negative thinking for entrepreneurs. I feel like we're coming together. I feel like our tribe is really being even more supportive for each other, and we're growing so much. We got 20 new members. And so I'm so excited for our growth and our tribe. You guys are my family. I love supporting you, and I love watching you support each other. So it's so great. Okay. All right. So getting back to number 4. Now, number 4 is a big one, right? So you want to pay attention, because there's oftentimes things that we don't do, right? We're putting stuff off. We're procrastinating. We're avoiding, right? So you want to take a look at, where am I procrastinating? Where am I avoiding? Where am I? And you might find that some of the symptom of that is blame, shame, guilt. Again, some of that not good enough. So you'll see how these things kind of come together. When you're seeing that happen, you're going to want to notice there's stuff underneath that you're afraid. Like, oh, that's going to take too much time. Or maybe you might have a doubt, or you might have some anxiety around something. So procrastination doesn't just happen, right? Another symptom is that as we tell ourselves that we're lazy, right? And so you want to allow yourself, and I'm just jotting this down, right? Lazy man syndrome. You want to realize you do not have lazy man syndrome. You have something that's concerning you, and there's this need to want to stay away from that, right? We want to self-protect. And so if doing this is going to cause this stress, I want to stay away from that, right? And so that's what that is all about. So I want you to pay attention anytime you feel like you're being lazy. Let's take a look and see what's really going on there. Okay. And so number 5, this one gets me all the time. My husband makes fun of me because I'll watch a movie and I'll be like, why don't they just talk to each other? If this one just told this one what they were thinking, this whole movie, all the problems would not be there. Ah, marriages would work. Kids would understand their parents. We wouldn't have the problems that we do that's coming up in life with our own thinking and with things going on. And there's just so many missing pieces if that communication is not there. And the symptoms of that, the side effects of that, they can ruin a life. They can ruin a business. They can ruin your own self-worth and how you believe in yourself, because maybe you didn't say something you know you needed to say. Oh, that feels so heavy, right? But it doesn't have to be like that. These are just things that we've gotten used to, just patterns that we've gotten used to. It's just, when we say self-sabotage, what you want to think about is just old programming. And that programming is literally there to protect you. It's not there to hurt you, but it's programming that has old errors, old data, right? So think about it. If you have programming from the 1930s, it's not going to match today. And when you were raised by people who were born in a time that wasn't ours, right? I think my parents were born in the 50s. I wasn't really raised with them very much, so I don't remember. Well, I mean, I guess I was raised with them until my teens, but we weren't friends, so I didn't know that much about them, and they didn't really know that much about me. But I don't remember what year. It was like 52 or something like that. But my point is, the time was very, very different than when I was born in the 70s. So if I get the programming from the 50s, it's already outdated in the 70s, right? And guess when psychology and all of the information about the mind became even known and understood? More so in the 70s. Still wasn't all that understood, but it was really becoming more known in the 70s and more safe to talk about and work with and understand. And it wasn't until like the 90s and 2000s and 2010s and teens, that's where we really began to understand mindset and the way the mind works and how we do the programming that we do and how to shift it and all that. And we're still learning, right? So if from the 50s to now, we've learned all this information, but that was not programmed into our subconscious mind. And so our subconscious mind is just limited on the information. So we just get to create new programming to say, no, that information that was given to us that we took on to make sure we were preserving our own life, we got to change that. But we can't just go in and change it like directly, because there's a belief underneath that says, no, this is what keeps me safe. You're not going to take that away. And so what we do is we give the mind new information so it could see, oh, okay, I could see why that information is not working. But here's the thing, when it's on the subconscious, we don't even know we have that information there. We're just seeing the results of it, right? So if I told myself a long time ago, I'm going to just make something up here. If I told myself a long time ago, the color yellow is the only safe color. Now that doesn't make sense, but kids don't make sense. And so now any other color that I have in my life, I just don't like it. I don't like that. It just looks better in yellow. But I don't understand why I'm acting that way or thinking that way. I know it's not logical, but I don't like that. It needs to be yellow. It's because of the program that I decided that yellow is the only thing that keeps me safe, right? So that's a silly example, but we'll see things that people say like, I was hurt before and I'm never going to be hurt again. I'm never going to let somebody hurt me again. But what does that mean? It means I'm not going to let myself be vulnerable. I'm not going to let myself get close to people. I'm not going to let myself love. I'm not going to let them love me. And that includes everybody. Because when we create a belief system, it's a system. And so even though I might think that that's not affecting my relationship with my children, it will. And even though no, it doesn't, I love my children. But if I have this, that I'm not allowing somebody to hurt me, that barrier is going to be there with everyone. It's just how we work. That's just how the mind works. So it's not a, oh, well, I'm right. And no, you'll see it, because when I work with my clients and they break through that, the feeling, the love, the connection, the depth that it grows to, they didn't even know it was possible, right? And I myself have gone through that. I've learned through all of these things I'm sharing with you. And I've had many clients who learned through these things as well. And so I know it's true by watching how it's true. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to take a look at, and we talked about some of these a little bit, but you're going to like really solidify that. How can I make sure I have these fail-proof ways? Okay. Now I just want to double check and see if there's any questions so far. And you guys don't hesitate if you're watching this and you want to hit hashtag replay. Definitely hit hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. You still get to have your questions answered. I want to make sure that you do that. And let's see here. Okay, just lots of hearts and likes. Sometimes it comes in kind of slow, so don't hesitate if you have questions. So you just keep sending them. All right, cool beans. Okay, so really the question that I'm getting right now is, so how do we make sure that we're not getting in our own way, that we're not creating this self-sabotage, because it definitely comes up for me on a consistent basis. Okay, that's a great question. So yeah, we're going to jump right into that right now. All right, let's take a look here. Now, guys, while you're waiting, why not go ahead and share this? Oftentimes, those of us who do this work, we don't realize that there are so many people who do not know this information. So the more you can share it and get it out there to help people realize they don't have to be stuck in this kind of situation, dealing with this kind of pain. Um, oh, hello, Aralia. Grand rising to you too. So yeah, so they don't have to be stuck in this kind of pain and suffering and stress. We get to help them know that information. All right, cool beans. I love your comments, guys. All right, again, these are not in a particular order because you'll see that they all sort of apply to each other. Okay, so what you're going to be able to see is that even in the smallest challenges, you can learn new things. So when these things are coming up, when you feel like you have to be perfect, you want to give yourself this new opportunity to go, okay, what's my real measurement, right? So measure your progress. And so the idea of that is you're able to stay more in reality, and you can allow yourself to take a look at how other people are doing well and what did they have to do to get there. And here's the deal, guys. Sometimes you might say, I'm not going to do that. I'll do that and that and that, but I'm not doing that. So then the skill that they have, you're not going to get to that level there. You're going to go in a different direction, and that's okay, right? I love the things that people do in technology and astronauts and mechanics and all these different realms. But I'm not going to do that. I don't want to, or I'm just not good at it. And so, and I don't want to learn to get good at it. So there's things that you'll be able to see. Okay, so here's my measurement. Here's where I want to be. And this is what I know are the steps to get there. So that pulls you out of perfectionism altogether because you're looking at true measurement. And then when you measure your progress, you are measuring against yourself, not other people. So when other people are doing well, you don't feel bad or feel like, oh man, look how good they're doing and how bad I'm doing. Because there's no need to compare. You're over here. This is where you want to be. If you see something over there you like, you just add it. Okay, I like that. That's cool. Look at where you are. That's so great. Oh, I love that. How did you do that? Okay, they did this and this. Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to add that to where I want to measure. So if you keep that measurement, then there is never a time where you're struggling for this line of perfectionism, wherever it is, that's always a moving thing and unattainable. So when you're letting yourself measure your progress, you're then measuring against yourself. So you're always being able then to push yourself to that next level. Now you might say that next level is perfect, but not because any next level is going to be that perfect. So just think of yourself as perfectly you at all times. You are perfectly you, and you're just growing and developing. Think about it. If you ever held a baby, and I don't know if you haven't held a baby, think about a puppy or a kitten or something you held that you were like, oh, how perfect. Look at that. Oh, in that moment, you know there's nothing they can do or be to make them more perfect than they are. That's you. Give yourself a second and let yourself imagine. Imagine yourself as a little baby. And if you want to get a little doll or hold a puppy or hold somebody's baby and just like, wow, this human being, this little life, so perfect. There's nothing they can do to be any more perfect. It'll be cool, whatever they decide to grow up and be and do. Oh, that's just the gravy on top. They're already perfect. Imagine holding you right now when you were born, looking at you. Wow, look how perfect. Let yourself be in that for a minute. And realize there's nothing that you are going to do that makes you any more perfect than you were born to be. Just connect with that. That makes this totally fail-proof. because you're going to know whatever it is you do or decide is just gravy on top. It's part of adding to the journey of this already perfect being that you are. You are perfectly you. And anything you add to it just adds to your knowing, right? It just adds to your development in your business. It just adds to your family. It just adds to your enjoyment of the world and the juiciness of developing your brain and your body and your spirit. So let yourself know that. Number 2, okay, so the idea, being able to take a look at what your schedule is, so being literal with your time. So take a look, and you may not know, right? So you may not know how long something is going to take. So look it up, ask people. So when you do this, how long should this take? Now think about how you are. Now, I've always had trouble learning and memorizing, and I have to memorize and memorize and memorize. And once I get it down, a little while later, I got to go and memorize it again. So I also have to take into account there's things that I have to do in addition for myself, right? So I know, as much as I don't like it, but I've had to accept it, that my learning, I have to double that time. And I didn't really get this until I've been recently in a program. Now, if it's something that's easy for me, not at all, I'm fine. But if it's something that's hard for me, and most things I get into are more easy, but the hard stuff is hard for a reason. I'm not good at it. I don't particularly like it. It's not really my interest, but it is still something that I need to learn for now, for the particular steps I need in my business, right? Or in my life. And so knowing I have to double, and in some instances, I have to triple, because I have to listen to it, then I have to read it and listen to it, then I have to implement it, where some people are listening and implementing. And I have to make sure I'm not comparing myself. It's only because I want it to be that fast, right? I want it to be that easy. And it will as I get it. So help yourself to know that you can schedule your time, looking at giving yourself little breaks in between of stuff that you enjoy. So it's not as difficult, it's not as hard. And so that gives you that experience of balance, right? Balance and moderation. I'm writing that down. And that's what we were talking about that before. And so the other word you can use instead of balance is harmonize. I like that one better, because we tend to think of balance as everything has to be the same, right? Everything has to be the same so the little wheel can go around and around. Well, what if this area is fine and doesn't need attention for now, but this area needs more attention, and that's okay. And so I could put more attention here while this doesn't get attention because it doesn't really need it so much, and it's not the same kind of priority. So we just harmonize our schedule and do what we're doing. And so that gives you that melody, that gives you that relaxation experience. Okay. And so number 3, this is also kind of similar of what we were talking about. When you're practicing this, you're creating a new reality for yourself. You're creating a new experience for yourself. You're removing the shame, the guilt, the judgment. You're helping yourself to create new awarenesses about yourself, new awarenesses about your learning, about your skills, about what you need to compensate for, anything like that, right? And so it helps as you're doing this, as you're getting these new awarenesses and new realities, it's like aha moments, like, oh, gotcha. Huh. And then you just step into the new you with this new information. It feels really good. Okay. Continue to let me know if you have any questions, guys. You're just going right along with me. I love it. Janet says, oh, wait. Great tips. You're so welcome. I love you guys. You're just awesome. Big hugs. Early big hugs. So yeah, if you guys do have any questions, definitely let me know. Okay. So number 4, this one, I want you to have fun, right, with this. Well, I want you to have fun with all of it, but set up accountability. Now, set up accountability in a way that helps it to be fun, but not limits you down. So for example, I'll give you one that I limited myself without meaning to. I said, I'm not going to let myself get a massage until I do my taxes. Well, I kind of did my taxes for this current year. I did my taxes, but there was a part of it I didn't do And so because I didn't do that part, I haven't had a massage in quite some time. And I'm like, whoa, I really self-sabotaged that. Didn't mean to, but I actually do need massage for like the chronic pain that I have and stuff like that. So the other day I was like, you created a self-sabotage for yourself. Sometimes we have to catch ourselves in doing those things. So that was actually a really great accountability. But when I did most of it, I should have given myself that massage. So then, okay, so then your next massage is based on finishing the rest. Bonus. And so it would have really reinforced that and created a much more confirmation. It would have created much more accountability or fun with that accountability process. Another thing that helps, sometimes things can get messy at the house. I'll set up a one-on-one here to meet, right? So it motivates me to get the house clean on a more deeper level than I might, or because I might be in a training for a whole weekend. Stuff doesn't get put in its home because I'm all into this training, and so that's like, oh, I got a meeting on Monday. It's got to get done. So these are things that create accountability that don't have to be a big deal. Doesn't have to be some kind of, I got to, set this accountability up with somebody all the time. The person who's coming over doesn't even know they're my accountability. So that really helps. The same thing on my calendar. If there's things I need to do, I meet with my coach. So that way, oh, I know I got to get that done before then. Right. Or I have people that I practice with, coaching that I do with. And so they're a coach and I'm a coach, and we train together. And so I know that by the time I meet with them, I have to have that new learning done. So then we're ready. So it just helps hold me accountable, because if I didn't have that there, I'd be like, I didn't really have time. So you know what, I'll do it. I'll get it done. But it's not planned for, so that accountability isn't there. So it's even more likely that it might not get done until later, or much later than I want it to be. So this is, forcing me myself to get it done. And it's a fun way, because now I'm practicing it and it's like, oh yeah, it does work. This is great. So think of different ways that your accountability actually can be fun and help you. So you guys, here's an example. You guys are my accountability. I do this every Wednesday for accountability. Did you know that? Because I want to stay on track in supporting you. And so the way I was like, what's the best way? And I started this like over 2 years ago. What's the best way that I can give you guys the most support? Well, I could do it like this. I could do it like that. I could do it like this. And 2 Easters ago, I said, you know what, God, I really feel like you're calling me to really be supportive. And I went a little on the extreme side. And so I went and I did it every single day for a year and a half. And I was like, this is so great. But it was taking up, more time than I had, as I started to get really, really, really busy. And so I said, okay, once a week. And so that's what I do here on Wednesdays. Then there's also my first Friday of the month, and that I do in addition, because this is more individualized, that I also do for individuals and couples who wanting to work on their relationships. And because oftentimes our businesses can interfere in our relationships. We don't mean it to. And our negative thinking and negative emotions and this stuff creates that interference. And so creating this support for you helps to kind of create some tools to clear it up. And then I have my availability for my group and my clients, and we get into it on an even deeper level. So then their business is running smooth, their relationships are running smooth, and it all starts here with the accountability in supporting you guys. Just like that. So share with me, what are some fun ways that you hold yourself accountable, whether it's with accountability group, like I have on Monday, or whether it's accountability partner, like I have on Thursday, or whether it's accountability coach that I've been checking in with every day, like whatever it is, like, what is it that you do? And it could just be a simple thing like, one of my clients, he is doing 5 minutes of exercise a week, right? And I know that doesn't sound like much at all, but he wasn't doing anything. So we're starting with what you can't fail. So 5 minutes, and of course that 5 minutes has become more. We've already talked about that, but it's picking a goal that your mind says, I can't fail that. And it hasn't, it's not going to. And then we move to 10 and then 15. And so the idea is, I'm also based on that accountability. I said, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing. And so the goal was, whenever you brush your teeth, you're going to do marching in place and do some stretches, right? Or do some squats. And so I'm doing it too. And so if you see somebody who's doing something with accountability and you say, oh, I want to do that too, and I'll just pipe in that I'm doing it as well, then you're supporting each other. It's really awesome. So do share, what are some ways that you're doing accountability with yourself, with your groups, with family, with your kids, with anything. Share it so we can each get ideas from each other. All right, now, last thing. What we often do is we get stuck in our to-do lists, right? And that's a total self-sabotage right there. Just that statement, right? Getting stuck in our to-do list, yay, it's over. So allow yourself to take a look at what is it you want for your life, right? I want to live a life where I know that I am the creator of my life, right? I want to live a life of health and vitality. I want to live where my family is in open communication. I want to, and you just, it's like, just gives you so much more space to breathe. And so when you're able to do that, it allows you to be able to look at that long-term perspective. And so you're not all stuck in the weeds. And then as you're looking at the long-term perspective, you just think, what is that next reasonable step that I need to take to get to that long-term perspective? And just think of one, right? You can think of 1 to 3. If you had to, you could think of 1 to 5. But really, you're only going to focus on that main one. Now, there's all these other steps and all these other to-dos that we have to do. But if you decide that one main step is my biggest focus in my life and my journey, these other little steps, that's cool. I'm going to acknowledge myself for getting them done and making them happen and seeing how awesome I am. Include that in there, by the way. Include the successes. You're also looking at, okay, I did that one main step to get to that big perspective. And it just has you feeling the bigger picture on a consistent basis. It has you seeing that you can get these things done. It has you seeing that you are taking things on much bigger than just the little stuff. And it gives you that, for me, it takes me into a more spiritual sense of being versus just the, in the weeds kind of stuff, right? You're looking at the beautiful ocean and not just the little tiny grains of sand. Not that they aren't beautiful, but you're able to see the whole thing and it just lights you up so differently. All right, cool beans. So I do hope that has supported you, and I want you to let me know how you can see that supports you, how you can see you're going to be implementing these things, and how best you can use it in your life. And just know I am here for you every Wednesday for tips and tools. And we take these things and implement them. And if you feel like you have any trouble implementing them or you want to practice them on a deeper level, let me know, because that's what I'm here for. I do have a couple spots available for one-on-one coaching, but I also have several spots available for my group. So you are not alone in this. You can get the support that you need, and that's what I'm here for. You also have these tools to practice them on your own. So if you want to get started doing that too, go for it. Don't wait. Don't be like, well, I'm waiting for our call. Don't do that. Get on there. Make it happen. All right, you guys, bring it in. Big squishy hugs. You take care of you. And if you need anything, you let me know. You reach out. You can message me. You can call me. You got my information right over here. You could text me. And just know that you are not in this alone. You take care of you, and you're doing amazing. Ciao for now.